Assalamu alaikum YouTube. I have finally watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is my spoiler-free review of this movie. Not that it really matters because I'm pretty sure all of those who really wanted to see this movie have already seen it, because you really can't resist this amazing movie, and I am super happy that it came out. Let's get into it. Now this is gonna be a really short video. I'm not gonna get into all of the depths of this movie, not the plot points, not anything, because I wanna keep it short. This is an amazing movie. It is probably the best comic book movie that I have ever seen in my entire life, be it from Marvel or even DC themselves. Marvel, the MCU, all of those movies, including the Avengers, they are nothing on how amazing this movie is. Most people say that the Dark Knight trilogy is the best comic book movies of all time. I seriously doubt that after seeing this movie, because that is how awesome I think this movie was. The highest praise that I can give this movie, like some other people have already said, is this is DC's The Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings are my favorite movies of all time. They are almost perfect movies for me, and this movie is almost on their level. Not quite, but almost on their level, and that is seriously very high praise for a DCEU movie, especially one made by Zack Snyder. Now, love him or hate him, Zack Snyder really knows how to make a beautiful looking movie, and Justice League is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. I personally really like Zack Snyder as a director. I have enjoyed most of his movies that he has ever come out with. I especially love Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. I also really like. But this movie blows everything out of the water that this guy has ever done before, because, like I said, the focus on details, the breathtaking shots, and especially that very unique ratio that we see in this movie, it really adds to the entire epicness of what a Justice League movie is supposed to be. Now, as far as the characters are concerned, most people are really praising Cyborg and Flash as characters, and I absolutely love them, especially Cyborg. But the most happy I am about, the character that I am most specifically happy about, is Batman. Batman was turned into a stupid, pathetic joke of a character back in Joss Whedon's cut in 2017, because Warner Brothers wanted to add some stupid comedy so they could be more like Marvel, and in that they ended up making Batman the greatest comic book character in history of comic books. It's next to Superman, obviously. They ended up making that amazing character a joke. He was giving out these stupid one-liners in that movie. Something is obviously bleeding, and that was so sad to watch. I remember sitting in the theater and seeing Batman lying on that ground making this stupid joke. It was very heartbreaking, and I can completely understand the frustration that Ben Affleck might have felt after that disaster of a movie came out, which is why he just hanged up his cape, left the cowl back in his past, and moved on from the DCEU. But I hope that this movie kind of reignites that spark of playing Batman in him again, because I really think Ben Affleck is the best Batman that has ever come out on the silver screen, and I absolutely loved his portrayal. Obviously, like I said, Cyborg and Flash are the heart of the movie, especially Cyborg. We get to see a lot of his backstory. And I have to commend the film on one thing. Most people are bitching that this is a really long movie. I think it wasn't long enough, and how they handled all of these 6 characters, including the backstories of the Flash and obviously Cyborg, I think they did a really good job in incorporating all of that stuff in these very limited hours. And let me tell you, these 4 hours, they just fly by, because this movie is so interesting from the beginning to the end that I really didn't need an intermission. It's only to go to the bathroom, because, nature calls and you can't really fight that. But other than that, it was amazing. I did not feel those 4 hours at all. One of the best changes that this movie has come out with, obviously, is the villain. In the 2017 version, Steppenwolf was the worst comic book villain that had ever come out at that point in cinematic history. But here, Zack Snyder's original vision for Steppenwolf is back, and this guy is scary. Whenever he was on screen fighting with the Justice League members, I was actually, in some scenes, really scared for the Justice League members. Like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is a no given shit character. She can hold her own, but in some scenes, I was like pretty shocked to see even she was struggling against this very scary threat. And even they give him a very interesting backstory, and it kind of like really added depth to this otherwise a very one-dimensional character that was portrayed back in 2017. But in this version, Steppenwolf actually has a proper goal on why he's doing all the stuff that he's doing, and they actually humanize him. I actually felt for Steppenwolf. I didn't even feel anything for Thanos when he was first introduced in Infinity War. Even if the Avengers were stupid when it came to Thanos, but I actually felt for Steppenwolf something in this version, and that was a very big triumph personally for me, that Zack Snyder was actually able to pull that off. Now, to contrast this movie with the 2017 version is an insult. I am pretty adamant about that, but we have to go back and forth because obviously that was a disaster and this is an amazing movie. I have absolutely no idea who the geniuses were at Warner Brothers who thought that this thing was unwatchable, and they went with Joss Whedon's cut back in 2017 and really messed up the entire DCEU by themselves. If anybody is to blame, it's not entirely Joss Whedon. It is actually all of those suits sitting at Warner Brothers, and I stand by that statement. Now, possibly the greatest comic book movie scene that has ever come out on the silver screen was that Batman and Joker scene, and that's all I'm gonna say about it because that scene left me speechless. Nothing in cinematic history when it comes to comic book movies, not even in the Dark Knight trilogy, especially not in anything the MCU has ever put out, was the tension, the beauty, and the epicness of that scene felt. I was literally on edge between that exchange between Joker and Batman. And you've really done a good job when you are when the audience is on his or her seat's edge, biting their nails because the tension is so heavy between two characters, and they're just talking. They're not even throwing punches. They're just talking it out. And I was like, oh shit, man, something's gonna go down. But sadly, nothing really goes down, and that part of the movie was actually supposed to be in Justice League 2. And right now, the fate of Justice League 2 is up in the air, so we have to wait and see if we actually get more of the Nightmare timeline. So that pretty much wraps up my own thoughts on this amazing movie. I watched it once. I'm gonna keep watching it until we get Justice League 2 in the Snyderverse, because I am really hoping that the critical success that this movie is actually seeing right now, everybody across the board, critics, casual fans, the die-hard fans, everybody is loving this movie. Those of people who are giving it a negative review, I'm gonna say it, they're just haters of Zack Snyder's work. They hate Zack Snyder for being Zack Snyder, and that's pretty much it. But I am really hoping that after seeing the success of this movie, at least in a critical form, and I hope that this ends up being a really big commercial success, that AT&T can actually get into touch with Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers, and they could work something out so he can work on his Justice League 2 for the HBO Max, and even Justice League 2A, and they can keep all of those other movies that they are making right now separate, and just give Zack Snyder this trilogy of movies that he has been working on. And you know what? I will be really happy if he only gets to complete the Justice League series. He doesn't have to do anything after that. Just let him complete the Justice League series. Please let him complete the Nightmare scenario. We want to see more of Jared Leto's Joker going up against Ben Affleck's Batman. My God, that scene was amazing. I really hope we actually get to restore the Snyderverse. If you like this video, please do consider leaving a like and obviously subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. I'm trying to reach 1000 subs, so you can really help me on my way to do that if you click that subscribe button down there. Tell me what you all thought of Justice League, especially the Zack Snyder cut. Tell me what you all thought of the Joss Whedon cut and how it compares to this version of Justice League, which it doesn't in any sense of the word. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.